Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We begin in the name of Almighty Allah, the most magnificent, the ever merciful. We glorify Him, we praise Him, and of course we elevate His name as He ought to be elevated. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I extend to you once again the eternal and of course the universal salutation of peace. May the peace, blessings and mercies of Almighty Allah be upon you and yours. The most pleasant good morning going out to you on this beautiful, wonderful Friday morning. As always, I do pray and hope that you are healthy, well, enjoying a period of happiness, a period of prosperity and well-being. I'm your host and brother in humanity, Imam Safraz Ghani, here in your company once again on this auspicious and holy day of Friday, the day of Jum'ah here in Trinidad and Tobago. Jummah Mubarak going out to you and yours. Blessings upon blessings. And of course, before we go any further, I must take the opportunity, of course, to say a very special thank you going out to Pandit Shrivan Hari Prasad for his previous rendition, for those wonderful words of inspiration and motivation. And as we always tend to do here on the program, we most definitely do wish him a safe and a speedy trip back home. All praises are due to Almighty Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the magnificent, the merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. O Allah, it is you do we worship, and from you only do we ask for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed your favor, not the path of those who have evoked your anger, nor the path of those who have gone astray. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Well, today's Islamic date is the 28th day in the month of Safar, which of course is the second month on the Islamic calendar for the year 1447, which basically means to say that tomorrow evening, on the evening of Saturday the 23rd of this month, we will be looking for the new moon. Keeping with Islamic teachings, on the 29th evening of every month, the moon is looked for, and if the moon is sighted, that month come to an end. And if the moon is not sighted, that particular month will have one extra day. So keeping with that particular teaching, tomorrow evening will be the 29th evening of the month of Safar, the second month on the Islamic calendar. If the moon is sighted tomorrow evening, then this month, the month of Safar, will come to an end, and on Sunday we'll be starting the new month, the month of Rabiul Awwal. That of course is if the moon is sighted. If the moon is not sighted, then we will have one extra day, and then the new month will be starting on Monday. So of course our eyes will be glued to the horizon tomorrow evening when we look for the moon to determine whether this month will come to an end or whether the month will have an extra day, of course. Today also coincides with the fourth Friday in the month of August for the year 2025. So the time is rolling by very quickly. Always remember, time and life is very precious. Be mindful of where you spend the moments of your time. And on that note, as we are now getting ready to commence the holy day of Jum'ah here in Trinidad and Tobago, of course I take now the opportunity to welcome you officially to the program, live on air, live on the internet, live across our social feeds on Facebook and on YouTube as well, for this weekly program titled Soul Inspirations, your program for inspiration, information, education and entertainment. Definitely do stick around. It's a pleasure to have you in my company. May the peace, blessings and mercies of Almighty Allah be with you.
Madina, 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 Madina. Madina, 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 Madina. एक बार ही दिखा दो आका मुझे मदीना, बेशक बना लो आका मेहमान दो घड़ी का, अगर मिल गई मुझको राहे मदीना, मोहम्मद का नक्शे कदम चूम लूंगा। अकीदत से काबे में सर को झुका कर, निगाहों से बाबे हरम चूम लूंगा। اگر مل گئی مجھ کو راہ مدینہ محمد کا نقش قدم چوم لوں گا جو طے کر کے آئیں گے راہ مدینہ ملا لوں گا میں ان کے سینے سے سینہ جو طے کر کے آئیں گے راہ مدینہ ملا لوں گا میں ان کے سینے سے سینہ جن آنکھوں نے دیکھا ہے طیبہ کا منظر وہ آنکھیں خدا کی قسم چوم لوں گا جن آنکھوں نے دیکھا ہے طیبہ کا منظر وہ آنکھیں خدا کی قسم چوم لوں گا اگر مل گئی مجھ کو راہ مدینہ محمد کا نقش قدم چوم لوں گا میری زندگی صرف عشق نبی ہو جو غم مجھ کو اس میں ملے وہ خوشی ہو میری زندگی صرف عشق نبی ہو جو غم مجھ کو اس میں ملے وہ خوشی ہو اسی غم کی راہوں میں آنکھیں بچھا کر میں پلکوں سے خاک حرم چوم لوں گا اسی غم کی راہوں میں آنکھیں بچھا کر میں پلکوں سے خاک حرم چوم لوں گا اگر مل گئی مجھ کو راہ مدینہ محمد کا نقش قدم چوم لوں گا میرے دل کو ہے بس نبی سے عقیدت کسی دن تو جاگے گی میری بھی قسمت میرے دل کو ہے بس نبی سے عقیدت کسی دن تو جاگے گی میری بھی قسمت جو آئیں گے کر کے سفر مدینہ میں خوش ہو کے ان کے قدم چوم لوں گا جو آئیں گے کر کے سفر مدینہ میں خوش ہو کے ان کے قدم چوم لوں گا اگر مل گئی مجھ کو راہ مدینہ محمد کا نقش قدم چوم لوں گا عقیدت سے کعبے میں سر کو جھکا کر نگاہوں سے بابے حرم چوم لوں گا اگر مل گئی مجھ کو راہ مدینہ محمد کا نقش قدم چوم لوں گا
Yes, indeed, you are tuned in to Soul Inspirations right here on 103.1 FM with yours truly, Imam Safraz Ghani. And as always, I must say, it's an absolute honor and, of course, a personal pleasure to be in your company once again for around about the next hour or so. Of course, we have now come to the end of another week. Of course, you can send me a message via the WhatsApp number 2994103. Let me know how your week has been thus far. Of course, we've got the weekend coming up as well. You can let me know what plans you've got for the weekend as well. And of course, we say may the blessings and mercies of Almighty Allah be upon you and yours. And of course, the program this morning is being brought to you through the kind courtesies of Adams Project Management and Construction Limited, the Original Barbecue Hut Limited, Point 14 Hardware Limited, Absolute Investments Limited of Monroe Road in Canupia, and Nicer Brand Products Limited. Well, on the program this morning, as always, we've got a very enthralling segment lined up for you. We've got our very a short inspirational segment coming up in just a short bit. We've got a few Islamic selections lined up as well. We've got the early morning call to prayer coming up a bit later on. And as we work our way through the course of the program as well, we've got our lecture segment coming up in just a short bit as well. So that's definitely something to look forward to on the program this morning. We're talking about the importance of personality development, the importance of character development. That's a very important aspect, a very, very important, valuable key aspect of our lives. As we continue on with the journey of our lives, the mission should be to always seek to become a better individual, and that's our talking point for this morning. Well, like I mentioned before, I've got lots to share with you. Thank you so much for the pleasure of your company. Do stick around. You're listening to Soul Inspirations right here on 103.1 FM.
अच्छा चलता हूँ दुआओं में याद रखना ये जिंदगी ने फिर दिल को धोखा दिया अच्छा चलता हूँ दुआओं में याद रखना ये जिंदगी ने फिर दिल को धोखा दिया दुनिया में बस एक प्यार रखना ये वो प्यार है हर एक सांस में है अंधेरा न रहा अब रोशनी यहाँ तेरा प्यार तेरी अता हम पर हो सदा रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा वे रब्बा रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा वे अर्रहमान हो अर्रकीब हो दिल से करीब हो जान से करीब हो सच्चा ये प्यार है अब तो सुकून है हर वक्त उसका नाम लबों पे है रब का नाम अंधेरा न रहा अब रोशनी यहाँ तेरा प्यार तेरी अता हम पर हो सदा रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा वे रब्बा रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा वे रब्बा मेरे या रब्बा मेरे या He'll always be right here Rabba mere ya 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 Rabba mere Rabba Rabba mere ya Rabba mere ya Rabba mere ya Rabba mere
Yes, indeed, Allah's blessings and mercies to you and yours on this beautiful, beautiful Friday morning as we continue on to give thanks and gratitude to the Almighty for all of His blessings, all of His favors, as we look forward to the blessings of a brand new day. It is important to acknowledge that sometimes in life, things can get tough, things can get hard, and the journey can be a bit turbulent, can be a bit rough. But it is always good to acknowledge that the hard things eventually lead to good things. Almighty Allah mentions in the Quran that verily after every difficulty comes ease. The seasons that test your strength, the situations that makes you feel uncomfortable, the decisions that require courage. Now, these are the very things that will lead towards true fulfillment. These are the very things, the difficult scenarios are the things that will eventually unfold goodness in your life. And if you are willing to walk through the fire, so to speak, you will eventually experience all of the beauty that awaits you on the other side. So in life, sometimes it is good to stop running away from the hard things. Embrace the challenge, embrace the difficulty, because the hard things, they tend to build a foundation for the good things that are yet to come in your life. So whenever life is good, we give thanks. And whenever the going gets tough, we use those moments to build ourselves into something which is beautiful and something which will definitely take us forward to more goodness in our lives as we continue on with the journey of our lives. Well, on that note, I must also say that the program this morning, of course, is being brought to you through the kind courtesies of Adams Project Management and Construction Limited, the Original Barbecue Hut Limited, Point 14 Hardware Limited, Absolute Investments Limited, and Nicer Brand Products Limited. Well, just in a short bit, we've got our inspirational segment coming up. Definitely do stick around. It's a pleasure to have you on board with us this morning. Thank you so much for the pleasure of your company. Blessing upon blessing. Jummah Mubarak going out to you and yours. So I want to start this morning by posing a very, very important question. Have you ever been told something about yourself that you did not like, that stung a little bit, but later on you realize that that which has been said to you helped you to grow to become a better person? And I'm pretty sure you probably would have experienced that from time to time. And that's our talking point for this morning. Something that's uncomfortable for many of us, but also incredibly powerful in our lives. It's the idea of constructive criticism. The idea of criticism and how, if you embrace it, you can unlock some of the greatest growth in your life. Criticism is a bitter pill to swallow indeed. It's a pill that not everyone can swallow. And handling criticism is quite a sensitive topic, and it will always remain so. We all face criticism in our lives from time to time. Sometimes they help us to grow, and sometimes it feels like the other person is just displaying his personal hatred in the form of useless criticism. But there's a major difference between constructive criticism and negative criticism. Constructive criticism is very important for personal growth. So let's first define what we mean by constructive criticism. It's not just someone pointing out your flaws or tearing you down. Constructive criticism is feedback that's meant to help you to improve. It's feedback delivered with the intention of building you up, not with the intention of breaking you apart. Unlike destructive criticism, which of course is personal, destructive criticism is negative. Constructive criticism focuses on behavior, skills, and outcomes. It does not focus on your worth as a person. Now let's be absolutely honest. How do most of us react when we hear criticism? Of course we feel defensive. Of course we shut down. We want to justify. We want to respond. We begin to think in ourselves that this person is being too harsh. They don't understand me, and so on and so forth. This response is quite natural because our brains are wired to protect our ego, to guard our ego against threats. And sometimes feedback or criticism feels like a threat even when it's not. But here's the glaring truth. You simply cannot grow without feedback. You cannot grow without criticism. You can't become a better person without someone holding a mirror up to you, so to speak, to show you where you can improve in your life. So this morning, let's reframe criticism for a moment. Criticism is not the enemy. Comfort is. What if, instead of seeing criticism as an attack, you saw it as a gift? You saw it as a tool for refinement, a mirror showing you your blind spots, so to speak, showing you your areas for improvement. So I want to share with you a small story along the same lines of our discussion. So once upon a time, there was a group of children. They were trying to get some fruits from a nearby tree by throwing stones at it. At that particular moment, there sitting under the tree was a saint who eventually got hit by one of the stones. The saint became angry and he started to curse. The kids interrupted him and said, "Please forgive us. It was a mistake. We didn't mean to do it." But then suddenly one of those kids said something really interesting. He said, "Respected saint, a tree, when hit by stones, gives fruits. But you, on the other hand, Mr. Saint, when you were hit by a stone, you give a curse. I guess we should start calling the tree a saint now and not you." Hearing this criticism, the saint was left in a state of confusion and deep thoughts. And eventually he realized his mistake and he vowed never to curse again. Therein lies a powerful message. We generally have a defensive attitude towards criticism. But thinking about this story, there should be a different way to handle criticism. No, it's a difficult thing, but it's not impossible. No matter what you do, there will be people who will dislike you for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Then what's the solution? The solution lies in how you respond to that criticism which is laid bare in front of you. So the big question, how do you receive criticism? How do you respond to criticism in a way that leads to growth? Well, of course, I'm not going to leave you empty-handed. I'm going to share with you a few quick points. Number one, when faced with criticism, pause before reacting. Very, very important. And that in most instances is the most difficult part of it. To pause, to take a breath, to stay calm, not to respond emotionally, and listen to what is being said. Many times when we are criticized, we are quick to respond. Train yourself to stay calm, take a deep breath, listen attentively to what is being said. Number two, assume positive intent. Believe that what the person is saying to you, the intention behind it is not to insult, is not to embarrass, but the intention behind it is to help you to improve, to become a more positive individual. Number three, of course, after listening intently, after trying to understand what the other person is saying, you can ask clarifying questions. You can say, give me an example of what you're talking about. What would you like to see improved in me? And so on and so forth. Number four, reflect. Reflection is very, very important. It's a very key aspect of the process. After you have listened intently, after you have understood what the other person is saying to you, reflect and look into your life and ask yourself, is what that person is saying, is it true? What that person is saying, is there any truth to it? And if it is, then make the intention to change. If what the person is saying is not true, then you can simply ignore the criticism that is coming to you. Don't just hear it, use it to your advantage. And eventually, if you have found benefits and if you were able to make a positive change, thank the person who gave you that feedback, because it takes courage to give honest feedback. So if a person came to you with honest feedback, honest criticism that is meant to improve you, that is something you should appreciate, because not everyone will do that. So receiving feedback is just a first step. The real courage lies in taking action. When you receive constructive criticism, you have a choice. You can ignore it, or you can use it as a catalyst for change. You can take that feedback and turn it into a plan, turn it into a strategy for improvement. Constructive criticism is not about tearing you down, it's about building you up. It's about helping you identify your blind spots, areas you can improve, and strategies to get there. When you receive constructive criticism, you are given a gift. You are given the gift of the chance to see yourself through someone else's eyes. And that can be incredibly powerful and incredibly liberating. So here's the big idea that I want you to walk away with. The message for this morning is quite simple. Growth lives outside of your comfort zone, and constructive criticism is the bridge that will get you there. So the next time someone gives you criticism, don't even flinch. Stay calm. Listen to what is being said. Say thank you and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Because every piece of feedback, no matter how small, is an opportunity to become the best version of you. Well, at this point on the program, we now go to the early morning call to prayer. The early morning call to prayer is being brought to you this morning through the kind courtesies of Absolute Investments Limited of Monroe Road in Cunupia.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الصلاة خير من النوم الله
ضاقت عيناي شوقا ولطيبة ذرفت عشقا فأتيت إلى حبيبي فاهدأ يا قلب ورفقا صلي على محمد. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله يا رسول الله. قلب بالحق تعلق وبغار حراء تألق يبكي يسأل خالقه فأتاه الوحي فأشرق. اقرأ اقرأ يا محمد. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله يا رسول الله. يا طيبة جئتك صبا لرسول الله محبا بالروضة سكنت روحي وجوار الهادي محمد. يا طيبة جئتك صبا لرسول الله محبا بالروضة سكنت روحي وجوار الهادي محمد. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله يا رسول الله.
يا من هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر الخالق البارئ المصور الغفار القهار الوهاب الرزاق الفتاح العليم القابض الباسط الخافض الرافع المعز المذل السميع البصير الحكم العدل اللطيف الخبير الحليم العظيم الغفور الشكور العليم الكبير الحفيظ المقيم الحسيب الجليل الكريم الرقيب المجيب الواسع الحكيم الودود المجيد الباعث الشهيد. الحق المكين القوي المتين الولي الحميد المحسن المبدي المعيد المحيي المميت الحي القيوم الظاهر الباطن الوالي المتعال البر التواب المنتقم العفو الرؤوف مالك الملك ذو الجلال والإكرام المقسط الجامع الغني المغني المانع الظاهر النافي النور الهادي البديع الباقي الوارث الرشيد الصبور.
في ليلة من الليالي لست أدري ما تراني ظلمة تغمرني يا رب. الأرض ضاقت والسماء وقلبي ما رفض الضياء والدمع بات يبكي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي. عصيت والذنب كبير وإني في حزني أسير مقيد بذنبي يا رب. فهل أستحق يا إلهي العفو مجرما مقر بالذنوب يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي. أنت الذي خلقتني رحمتني ورزقتني دوما يا رب قد كنت معي. لكنني نأيت عنك نسيت ما قد كان لك وسرت في طريقي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي. أنت الذي خلقتني رحمتني ورزقتني دوما يا رب قد كنت معي. لكنني نأيت عنك نسيت ما قد كان لك وسرت في طريقي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي. واليوم يا ربي أعود من ظلمة خلف الحدود فالقلب منكسر وطرفي حائر وأنا الغريق فلا أرى إلا سواك لمنقذا لا منجا ولا منجا إلا أنت يا إلهي 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 يا إلهي.
Yes, indeed, a wonderful nasheed, Ya Ilahi, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. It's a nasheed, it's a song about the praise of the Almighty, and that is something that we must get ourselves in the habit of every single day, every single morning, acknowledging the Almighty. Oh my Lord, guide me, oh my Lord, protect me, oh my Lord, have mercy upon me. If you don't do that, you go through life with a type of emptiness. That's where your connection is, that's where your strength is, and that's where your inspiration and motivation will be every morning if you can connect with the Almighty. Welcome back. I'm yours truly, Imam Safraz Ghani, host of this weekly program titled Soul Inspirations. Your program, of course, for inspiration, information, education, and entertainment on this beautiful Friday morning, the day of Jum'ah. Jum'ah Mubarak going out to you and yours. At this point in the program, we now get into our lecture segment. And like I mentioned before this morning, we are talking about character building. So character is not something that you can buy. It's not a commodity at all. It's not a commodity that can be bargained for. It's not a quality suited for only the rich and famous. Rather, character itself is built upon the foundational commitment of love, honesty, and compassion for others. In life, having a good character, having good conduct, and being self-disciplined is indeed your greatest asset. And before we go any further, I wanted to share with you this small story that will highlight that very said point. So there was once a king who had great respect for an old scholar of his kingdom. Whenever he would come around to visit, the king himself would get up from his throne and honor him. So one day the king asked the scholar, he said, I have a question for you. He said, tell me which is greater, a person's conduct and personality or a person's knowledge? So the scholar pondered for a while and then he said, give me a couple of days, give me a few days time and then I will answer your question. So the very next day, the scholar went to the king's treasury and picked up some gold coins from there and hid them in his bag. The treasurer saw this, but he remained silent, considering the position of the scholar. Thereafter, the scholar kept doing this continuously, day after day. He would go into the treasury, pick up some gold coins, hide them in his bag, and then leave. All the while, the treasurer observed all of this with a very close eye. And because this kept happening for days and days, eventually the treasurer could take it no more. He eventually went to the king and told him about the whole story. Sometime later that day, the scholar paid a visit to the king's palace. On that particular day, neither did the king himself went to receive him, nor did he get up from his throne in respect as he would normally do. On noticing the change in the king's attitude and the king's behavior, the scholar understood that the matter of taking the gold coins had reached to the king. The king then raised his voice in a very angry tone and he asked, have you taken gold coins from the treasury? The scholar then said, yes, this is true. The king was very, very angry. He said, why would you do this? The scholar then smiled and said, I deliberately took the gold coins because I wanted to show you whether a person's conduct and personality is greater or his knowledge. When you came to know that I took the gold coins without your permission, you didn't even get up from your throne in respect anymore, which you would usually do. On the contrary, you raised your voice, you became angry. My knowledge was with me even before lifting the gold coins, and it is with me now even after stealing the coins. But as soon as you came to know of my theft, you lost respect for me. You used to respect me because of my conduct and because of my personality. But as soon as my conduct and personality changed, your thoughts about me also changed, and you could not respect me any longer. So it's important to understand that you should always ensure that your conduct and personality is of a high caliber. Because of your conduct and personality, people will respect you. Even if your education is poor, even if your wealth is not significant, your conduct and personality is by far the greatest asset that you possess. Without it, you are absolutely nothing. You may have all the wealth, you may have all the position, the rank, the beauty, the education, the sparkling things of the world. But if your conduct and personality is not good, you really don't have anything at all. On the other hand, once your conduct and personality is good, in spite of having no wealth, in spite of having no position, no rank, no beauty, no education, no sparkling things of the world, In spite of having none of the above, you have everything because of your good conduct. And if you study the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, you would find that he is the finest example of a perfect man in every sense of the term. Such fine qualities as modesty, truthfulness, kindness, patience, loyalty, honesty, courage, bravery, and so on and so forth. And one of the most important things we learn from the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the importance of always developing your personality, your conduct, and your character. Personality development is indeed the tool which helps you to bring out your strength and your capabilities and makes you aware of your inner self and helps you to develop the confidence that you need to face the world. So the big question is, how do you develop that trait within you? How do you develop your personality? Well, number one, it is important that you choose a goal. Go step by step. Don't try to do everything in one go. Remember that starting small is the best way to start developing your character and your self-discipline. As you go through the course of your day-to-day life, find motivation. Once you've chosen a goal, list the reasons why you want to achieve it and try to express those reasons in a positive way. Motivate yourself on a day-to-day basis, because if you don't motivate yourself, it's very difficult to find that motivation from external sources. Number three, try your best to identify negativity, the obstacles that you will likely face when working towards your goal. And once you have identified those obstacles, devise a strategy for overcoming each one, because those obstacles will trip you up as you go along. Number four, is important to replace old habits with good habits. When you're developing self-discipline, sometimes you often try to break a bad habit. But if you don't replace it with something more productive, then you are left with a void in your life. So whenever you break a bad habit, try your best to fill that void with something which is positive. And finally, as you go through the course of your life, monitor your progress. As you work on your self-discipline, pay attention to how to the progress you are making. Pay attention to how, the strengths that you are developing. And as you go forward in life, always remain connected with the Almighty. Because really and truly, in this competitive world, having a great personality is a bare necessity. It is a necessity for a perfect life. All get inspired by an attractive personality. Nobody likes to be around a person who is negative, who's always complaining and always has a negative attitude. We try to ignore this type of person. On the other hand, a person with a positive attitude is always happier, always flexible, better at decision making, and these individuals are great performers in every sphere of life. So as we go through the course of our lives, let us make the intention. Make that intention this morning that every single day will be a learning curve for me. Every single day will be one rung up the ladder as opposed to one rung down the ladder. And make the intention to continue to rise in every aspect of your life. And once you make that intention, then the Almighty will most definitely make it easy upon you.
मैं भटका हुआ था, परेशान था मैं, सहारा भी मुझको मिला था न कोई। तुझे मैंने सबके दिलों में जो ढूंढा, मिला मुझको अपने ही दिल के किनारे। या अल्लाह या अल्लाह या अल्लाह या रहीम या करीम। ज़मी के हुस्न में शराबूर था मैं, उठाता था सर ढूंढता था मैं तुझको। पहाड़ों सितारों बदलती फिजाओं को जब मैंने समझा, मिला मुझको तू ही। या अल्लाह या अल्लाह या अल्लाह या रहीम या करीम, या रहीम या करीम माफ कर दे मुझको भी, तू ही तो बस मेरे है सबसे करीब, हाँ करीम। या रहीम या करीम माफ कर दे मुझको भी, तू ही तो बस मेरे है सबसे करीब, हाँ करीम। लगा के ये दिल मैंने दुनिया से देखा, फिर ऐसा हुआ दिल लगाया ये तुझसे, न दर में न शहर में न अपने ही घर में, मिला जो सुकून कलब तेरे घर में। या अल्लाह या अल्लाह या अल्लाह, या रहीम या करीम, या रहीम या करीम माफ कर दे मुझको भी, तू ही तो बस मेरे है सबसे करीब, हाँ करीम। या रहीम या करीम माफ कर दे मुझको भी, तू ही तो बस मेरे है सबसे करीब, हाँ करीम। या रहीम या करीम माफ कर दे मुझको भी, तू ही तो बस मेरे है सबसे करीब, हाँ करीम। या रहीम।
Well, as we're coming to the end of the program for this morning, I must take the opportunity to say a very special thank you going out to the sponsors. The program this morning is being brought to you through the kind courtesies of Adams Project Management and Construction Limited, the Original Barbecue Hut Limited, Point Fortune Hardware Limited, Absolute Investments Limited, and Nicer Brand Products Limited. I also must take the opportunity as well to say a very special thank you going out to you and yours for joining me on the program this morning. It's always a pleasure to have you on board with us. It's always a pleasure to be, to be graced by your presence as we go through the course of the program. Special salams, greetings of peace, Jumma Mubarak going out to you and yours, and to all those who want a message on the program. Thank you so much for your kind words. Your messages are always appreciated and acknowledged. May the peace, blessings and mercies of Almighty Allah be with you. Well, of course, it was indeed an absolute pleasure to be in your company once again over the past hour or so. By all means, you can catch me next week Friday from 5 a.m. as we bring to you another segment of Soul Inspirations, your program for inspiration, information, education and entertainment. I'm your host and brother in humanity, Imam Safraz Ghani, signing off for this morning. Until next week Friday, please do have an extremely blessed day, a blessed weekend. Stay safe, whatever you are doing. Stay in the mercy of Almighty Allah. Much love, and may the peace, blessings and mercies of Almighty Allah be with you. Well, up next is News at 6, followed by Prabhat. Most definitely do keep it locked on to 103.1 FM for more inspirational and motivational programming throughout the course of today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place could be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space to make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Yeah. If you want to know why, there's a love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares for joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel fear or dread, we stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. So make a better world, make a better world, heal the world, make it a better place for you